Wildcat fans, what is going on? So happy you decided to join us again for another LC Coaches Show. I'm Brad Welburn, and we're transitioning into our winter, spring kind of shows. Hope you enjoyed all the conversations with our fall coaches. And as you can see here to my left, we are joined by our women's basketball coach, Coach Patrece Carter, as we kind of get into this season, talk about some of the preparations that the team has made, and getting ready for what is to come this week as we start the 17-18 season. Yes, it's almost 18. It's crazy to think about.
Right?
Coach Carter, first
Yes.
of all, thanks for joining us today as we kind of get this ball rolling on our LC Coaches shows with you. I know you're very excited about it.
So excited. So excited.
So let's talk about your team this year. And before we get into some kind of specifics of games coming up and that sort of thing, talk a little bit about the off season. I know obviously the run to the championship game last year definitely was, for me at least, it was very exciting to kind of be there in Brownwood and watch the team play these games that maybe on paper they weren't supposed to win or even be in, and they end up beating Howard Payne and Tyler and taking Dallas down to the end. So it was a really fun time, and that run for the players that are coming back, which is quite a good list, has prepared them for this season.
Right. So first off, their attitudes are so much better this year. I think that making that run kind of brought it all into perspective. I was watching some of the interviews we did after the games, and I just remember thinking, and one thing I said was, my freshmen, they didn't know any better. Like, they didn't realize the scale that we were playing on. They didn't realize what was at stake. They were just going out and playing.
Right.
And so once it was all over and they realized how close we were to making the NCAA tournament, it kind of changed their attitude a little bit. So in the off season, especially my upperclassmen, a lot of them stayed on campus, used the facilities, used the weight room, used the gym, hired a personal trainer to get into better shape. And so they came into this year with a totally different mindset.
Yeah. Talk about some of those players specifically, because we talked all along last year. You're playing a lot of freshmen last season. Now they got a lot of experience, a lot of them back again this year, and then you add the 3 and 4 year experience that you have with players like Brooke Jones, Courtney McGee, Taylor Payne, and those kinds, where they just, it's just a team full now of experience, as opposed to last year we had just a few, and now you got a whole team full of it.
Right. Well, on paper, we still kind of look young.
Yeah.
We have a couple of seniors, but we're still going to be led by freshmen, sophomores, and I have 2 juniors, one in transfer, Janae Smith and Rhodesia McCorn. So Brooke Jones and Courtney McGee are going to anchor us, from the outside and the inside. And it's just funny, just this week in watching game film, both of them gave me a look like, I can't believe what we looked like last year, And so I tell them, I didn't do anything different. I'm coaching you the same way. I'm teaching you the same thing. It's just a mindset. It kind of clicked for them. And so what's happened is the energy that they bring to practice every day is trickling down to everyone else. And so on paper, we still look young, but yeah, you're right. We're a veteran team. A lot of my freshmen and sophomores got tons of playing times last year. So I'm looking for them to take it a step up.
Talk about some of these new players that you have coming in. You obviously brought in some freshmen that will probably see some minutes as well again. But also, like you mentioned, a couple transfers and one that in particular that's going to be kind of that second guard kind of person behind McGee that's going to be a real benefit for you.
Right. Janae Smith came to us from Glenn College, and just a phenomenal athlete. Can get up and down the floor, can rebound. She's one of the bigger guards that we have, and she's going to play off of McGee much of the game. We're looking for her, and the thing is, with Janika Walton, who transferred in from LSUA, just a phenomenal athlete as well. She's coming in. Her role would be rebounding. She is an absolute animal on the board. And freshman Alexis Leger, we're looking for her to kind of step into that 4 spot where Jarion Maximilian is right now. Z does it all. She's one of our best passers. She can score inside. She can score outside. She plays perimeter defense. And so Alexis, as a freshman, is going to have some pretty big shoes to fill, but she showed very much promise in practice.
All right, so talk about, as we kind of get into some game discussion here, you guys played was it last week? Maybe a week before?
10 days ago.
Point, yeah. You guys played LSUS, first kind of organized scrimmage kind of thing for y'all at least. So, and I know we've talked already before in the preview about what you kind of saw during that game about about your team that maybe you weren't quite sure about,
Right.
but were able to see as an end product of playing them at
Right.
LSUS?
One of the things as a coach I pride myself on is defense. We try to pressure 40 minutes of the game. I try whatever defense works for whatever team we're playing. But a surprise for me was that game was our half-court defense. Vince. We play full-court pressure. Everybody knows that when we step off the bus, we're guarding you. But our half-court defense, playing the help side, rotating out of that man-to-man, surprisingly, I didn't expect it to be this good this early. So I say that on film, and we'll see what these next 4 games go like. But that was definitely a plus. And also just the discipline of my kids, able to fight back. We blew a lead, but they never hung their heads. They fought in a couple mental mistakes that can be fixed, especially as the game goes on. So overall, I was very pleased with the effort that my kids gave and just the mental capacity that they're showing right now.
All right, so you transition into this week. You got another exhibition game, kind of a tune-up deal against Lamar, and then you open up the season on Wednesday night against Birmingham Southern in a game that we played them last year. It was kind of a tight thing, and Birmingham ended up coming away with the win. So, what are you looking for out of this final exhibition to kind of really, for you'll know that you're in a good spot going into that first game?
Well, Lamar is just so athletic. They had a very good run through the Southland Conference last year. So what we're looking to do is be able to limit their scores. We want to, especially in the post. I'm an inside-out kind of coach, so I want to see what my post players are going to do, how they're going to be able to handle the size and the athleticism of a D1 squad. If we're able to get stops, how many turnovers are we going to force? Mostly defense. The offense is going to come. My kids have worked really hard in the offseason on their offensive moves, so I'm not really concerned about that other than execution of an offense. But I'm just looking for defense. I'm looking to see what we can limit. How many touches can we get? Can we keep the ball from going inside? Can we push those guards to the sideline?
So, and then moving into kind of a quick look at the rest of the month, you guys have a little bit different philosophy or schedule than the guys do. You guys are playing Wednesday and then immediately hitting the road for a 2-game series or a 2-game set in Chicago, or a suburb of Chicago in Wheaton. And then you have games next week after Thanksgiving, and then that final week of the November you have a couple games, and then conference starts. So, what was the mindset of getting this? It's like 6 games or so in November to kind of prepare yourself for the conference schedule.
Well, I knew that the other teams in our conference, they lost a lot of seniors, but the coaches are phenomenal recruiters. So it's not so much that, they're going to be losing this, but what are they going to be gaining? So I had to make sure that my team, we opened up conference the last week of November. That doesn't give us a lot of time. And we can't wait to start winning in January. We have to win early. So I was able to schedule these D3 games early. One, so that we can kind of see what we look like as far as the rest of the nation. Anytime we can get outside of the South, play some Northwest teams, it's going to look good to the committee. And then in scheduling so many, I just didn't want my kids to get complacent. I didn't want to really give them any time to just rest. I wanted just enough rest to keep their bodies healthy, but still maintain that mindset that they have.
Well, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to find out a lot about this team very early in the season, and it's going to be exciting year, I do believe, with a lot of fun players and a lot of talent. It's just keep an eye on it for sure. LCWildcats.net. You can find the full schedule, results, and rosters and stats and everything that you need to know about the women's basketball team. They're also on Twitter. LC_WBB. You can follow them and they'll get periodic updates and things like that. So be sure to do that. And it's going to be fun. But Wednesday night, they take on Birmingham Southern right here at HO West. And then their next home game, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be November 30th.
That's correct.
Against McMurray as they open up conference play. So that'll be at Repeats Coliseum. Again, the schedule is on the website. You can go and bookmark it and save it and all that sort of stuff.
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me this week.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Brad Wellborn. We will see you next time.